Yo, RX back with another, finally back I should say, with another breakdown of UFC Nashville Lewis versus Teixeira. We back with another breakdown, finally, of a card that we come back to after a break week in Nashville that is not very good. It's not awful. I'll say that. It's not the worst. But what a weak way to come back from break week. I guess I'll start with that topic first. It's good to be back after break week. Obviously we took a break last week, that's why there was no videos. I still streamed a lot, but video-wise, I've left y'all dry because there was no card. But it's good to finally be back doing it, because if I'm making a video, you know there's a card happening. And, obviously that's a great fucking thing, because we need fights, and we all missed them last week, so. It sucks that this is what we come back to, but could be worse. Hope everyone had a great 4th of July weekend, all that. Again, obviously I might not have done many videos, but I did stream a good amount during that week, so hope that gave y'all a little bit of a fix when it comes to RX. And yeah, it's good to be back. With this card, maybe not. 12 fights in Nashville, going to Nashville for the first time in a long time, and they're not getting a really good card. It's not awful. Like I said, a lot of big names on it, or a lot of names at least. Derrick Lewis, Wonderboy, Calvin Kattar, Nate Landwehr, Junior Tafa, Chris Curtis, etc., etc. But I look at it this way, it's missing something. It's missing a real main event. If you have this exact card, but you just move every fight down one, and you put a real main event on it, let's say Fluffy and Roman Dolidze, because that's an Apex main event like a month for no fucking reason. But if you put that on top of this card, it would be a great card. But Derrick Lewis main event in 2025? You're kind of losing me there, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know. Yeah, let alone against a 1-0 guy who beat Justin Tafa. Ooh, impressive. Yeah, not really blown away by that. Like, it's good to have some OG names, Wonderboy, Derrick Lewis, etc. But that being your headliner and not co-main, that's pretty weak. And I kind of feel bad for Nashville. This is their first card in a long time, and they get what's okay but not great. I'm not, and we're coming back. Like, it's the only bright spot of this is the card back. We didn't have fights last week, so this is something. But outside of that, not blown away by this card. It's not bad, but it's missing something. So either way, missing something or not, we're still gonna break it down. So let's do it. Not really much else to say. I don't want to ramble on too long in this intro. The last thing I want to say before I get into the breakdown is, as always, the normal YouTube shit. Like, comment, and subscribe. 200 subs goal by the end of the year. We are at 145 right now. We're at almost halfway. Could we get to that 200 soon? I doubt it, but it'd be kind of cool. Well, 55 away. Can we get to 200? Okay. If not, it's fine. Thank every single one of y'all. I can never put into words how grateful I am to even be at 145. But, why stop there? So, thank you anyway. Cannot put into words how much I love y'all. Last week, keeping me entertained, well, I hopefully kept y'all entertained. This week, we're back with a card. Let's sit back, relax, break some fights down, and enjoy what is our first fights in a long time. And at least what felt like a long time since Ilya. Not counting tough. Lewis, Teixeira, Nashville's first card in a while. Fights are back. Nothing more I can think to say. Good to be back. Not a great card. Breaking down anyway. Let's do it. 12 fights in Nashville, Tennessee. You ready? I know I am. UFC Nashville Breakdown. Let's go. And we begin with our first fight of the night, beginning with the females, like the UFC has been doing a lot lately, as we begin in the strawweight division with a fight that is not bad, kind of lamb to the slaughter, but still not a terrible fight. I've seen worse, I've seen better. As we have to begin the night, our first fight in 2 weeks, our first fight since Ilia Topuria, we have to begin UFC Nashville. Fights are back with Fatima, the Archangel Kline, versus Melissa Super Melly Martinez. Not a great, not a bad fight. Not great, because it's kind of lamb to the slaughter, but not awful either. I think it's better than the 1 or 2 fights that's above it. So, it's not bad. It's not bad. Women's strawweight, decent weight class. Got some prospects here. First fight in 2 weeks. Should be decent. Let's look at it. We'll begin with our first fighter of the night in the Music City. Fights are back, and the first fighter we have is Fatima Kline, 7-1, 24 years old, 1-1 in the UFC. In those first 2 UFC fights, she stepped in on short notice against Jasmine Jasudavicius and put up a decent fight, and didn't really look amazing, but what do you really want her to do against one of the best flyweights in the division on short notice in her debut? So, not really much you can say bad there. But then you look at her second fight against Victoria Dudakova, and wow, went back down to strawweight, opened the year, I believe the first finish of 2025, and she looked phenomenal. Like, I get Victoria Dudakova, it's not very good. She's pretty terrible, but Fatima Kline made her look even worse than we thought she was. She dominated her, put her out, ground and pound, and got, again, I believe the first finish of 2025, so... yeah, Fatima's good. She's training partner with Fern Blanchfield, and in my opinion, she kind of reminds me of a better version of Blanchfield. Her grappling is amazing. Her cardio looks decent. Her striking ain't phenomenal, but it's not a liability. 24 years old, 7-1. Her 2 fights so far are not really anything you could say bad about. Again, Jasmine Jasudavicius, one of the best flyweights in the world right now. Victoria Dudakova, not amazing, but a win is a win, and a finish at strawweight, which is kind of rare. Again, the first finish of 2025, that was pretty cool. So, good shit there by Fatima, and she's very looking like a real prospect. She's looking like what Erin Blanchfield should have been, because in my opinion, I think Erin Blanchfield's pretty overrated. Fatima's looking like a better strawweight version of Blanchfield, and that could be interesting. That could be scary for a lot of females, because her grappling's good, her cardio's decent, her striking's alright. Fatima's pretty good, and if she can get another one here, dominant fashion, she might be the best prospect in the division that kind of needs one, with a lot of them either now being in top 15 or kind of getting checked the last couple years. So, Fatima's good. We might be what strawweight needs with Yasmin Halagoui, Yasmin Lucindo, etc., kind of falling out of favor. So, let's see what Fatima can do in her second fight at strawweight. She's really fucking good. And then to look at her opponent, Super Melly Martinez, 8-1 in her career, 27 years old, also 1-1 in the UFC, but her 1-1 is a lot less impressive and a lot less good you can take away from it than her opponent. Because in her debut, she got Elise Reed, and she lost somehow, and I believe Elise Reed was stepping in on short notice, so that does not make it better. She looked terrible, got dominated, got her O taken, and then took 2 years off. How did she look in her return late last year? Against Alice Ardoyan, she looked okay. Nothing amazing about her performance. She beat Ardoyan pretty easily in a striking match. Parcher got a finish. She looked alright, but Alice Ardoyan, even though I get Alice is coming off a win, so that's aged alright as a win, I still don't think Alice Ardoyan's good at all. So take that with a grain of salt, and you still lost to Elise Reed. So, kinda hard to make a case for Martinez not being kinda shitty. Again, you lost to Elise Reed, so... Like, she's not awful. I'm not gonna say Martinez is awful, Elise Reed is, but Martinez ain't the worst. Her striking's okay. Her grappling's not great. Cardio's not amazing. We might as well just call her the sacrificial lamb, because that's all she is. So... Good luck, Melly. You lost to Elise Reed. What the fuck is Fatima Kline gonna do? What the fuck would Fatima Kline do to Elise Reed? So, again, Super Melly, good fucking luck, because you're gonna need it. The Bangouts first fight agreed with me, having Fatima Kline minus 1,000. Kind of a streak of that lately. I feel like the last few cards I've had a minus 4-digit favorite, and Fatima's this week's, and kind of well deserved to plus 700. The lowest I think you'd have Fatima is minus 900. She should easily win this fight. I think on the feet, she's the lesser of the two, but on the ground, she's way better. In cardio, she's way better. She's way taller, 5'6" to 5'2". She should dominate this fight just like she did against Victoria Dudakova, in my opinion. If she can get the fight down, she will win pretty easily. And even on the feet, there's the possibility she could win, because she's not the worst striker in the world, but she's not a world beater in that regard. Fatima's really good, and the UFC's giving her another sacrificial lamb like Victoria Dudakova. Like, kind of another fraud who's already been fraud checked by a lesser opponent, like Elise Reed. What the fuck is Fatima Kline gonna do if you got wrestle beat by Elise Reed? Come on now, let's be honest. So, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna shock anyone with my pick here, but I'm going for Fatima Kline by decision. A finish is possible, you never know with that ground and pound and submission game with Fatima, but I'm gonna probably go decision. It feels like a safe route. It's unlike we don't get many strawweight finishes, and I guess Melly could be tough, so... I say Fatima's probably going to throw her around for 3 rounds and get a 30-26 quick easy W, second quick easy W in 2025, and yeah, she should win this fight in my opinion. So, I think in everyone's opinion, I don't think anyone's really picking Martinez unless you think she's going to keep it on the feet and beat her, which, good luck. The easy pick here, Fatima Kline by decision. Should not be much of a battle. Fuck, this might be a step down from Dudakova to an extent, at least in a grappling match. So, give me Fatima Kline by decision against a sacrificial lamb, pretty much. So, first pick back to begin the night, give me Fatima Kline by decision. Yeah, it sucks to work and get a lot of decisions, aren't we? We usually do. Fatima Kline by decision, first pick of the night in Nashville. After that, we go to our second fight of the night, another lamb to the slaughter type fight. This one might be even more fucking one-sided than the first one, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time here. As we have in our second fight of the night, our first male fight of the night, going all the way up to the lightweight division for the first and I believe only time on this card. Maybe I'm wrong, but I believe it's the only time on this card. As we have, I think, the most recent fight to be booked for this card, booked a couple weeks ago, so not a great. I think it's one of the lesser fights of the night, but at least it's a fight. It's something. Even if it's not great, it's more on this card, so I'll take that. As we have in our second fight of the night, the first male fight of the night at lightweight, Mike, the Beast Boy Davis versus Mitch, the fight stalker Ramirez. Speaking of lamb to the slaughter, what's up, Mitch Ramirez? You're literally just cannon fodder here. I guess I'll talk about the fight a little bit, but I don't think I really need to spell this out for you, so let's talk about it. We'll begin with the veteran of the two, Mike Davis, fighting for the first time twice in a year ever. Can't believe we're actually seeing him again this year after that loss to Ziam earlier in the year. 11-3, 32 years old, 4-2 in UFC, 0-1 on the Contender Series all the way back in the day against Sadiq Yusuf. Since getting into the UFC, again 4-2, his wins have been Thomas Gafford, Mason Jones, Slava Claus, and Natan Levy, and he lost to Gilbert Burns and Faraz Ziam. I won't sugarcoat it. I've never been the highest on Mike Davis. I think y'all know that very well. I don't think he's as good as people hype him up to be. I think he's a below average, forgettable fighter. I think he's kind of got a cakewalk when it comes to a winning streak. Thomas Gafford, garbage. Mason Jones, fraud. Slava Claus, can't grapple for shit. Natan Levy, garbage. Look at some of the guys he missed out on fighting. Giga, Drew Dober, Euros Medic. So, let's not act like he fucking fought the hardest guys possible. He went on a very fraudulent 4-fight winning streak over like 8 years. And this is the first time he's fighting twice in a year since 2019. Oh, great stuff there. It's good. I'll say that it's good to see him active again. So even if he's not very good, it's good to see a guy who's kind of been beyond inactive be active again. So that's good. I guess he just needed to lose a fight to be active. So sweet. Yeah, I don't think much of Mike. I always saw people overrate him. He's a below average guy that would lose to a lot of decent guys at lightweight. So I don't know. That's just what I think. But here, he's getting a complete layup, so we'll see how good he really is in a layup, because he should show up and show out here. But you never know with below-average guys, who I think are highly overrated. And then to talk about his opponent, Mitch the Bitch Ramirez. I don't know why he's a bitch, but just rhymed. 8-2, 32 years old as well. 0-1 in the UFC, 0-1 on the Contender Series. He fought Carlos Prates a couple years ago, got fucking annihilated on Contender Series. Fought Thiago Moises last year on short notice for his debut, got fucking annihilated. Now, he was meant to fight back in April, but his opponent got fucking arrested, so good shit there. And now he makes his second UFC walk on a full camp for the first time against Mike Davis. Yeah, he's getting fed to the fucking slaughter here. Like, he's pretty terrible. In the 2 fights I've seen of Ramirez, I've seen nothing impressive from him. He has no defense. His chin ain't strong, his legs ain't strong, his grappling ain't strong, his cardio ain't strong. He's pretty fucking terrible. So, yeah, I'm probably the worst fighter on the card this week, so what does that tell you? Ramirez should not be in the UFC to begin with, and this will probably show why again here, so yeah, just cannon fodder, pretty much. The Bangouts vs. fight do agree with me, having Mike Davis minus 900 to plus 600. You could have Mike Davis minus 1,000. Like, he should win this. He's my lock of the night. He ain't gonna lose to Mitch Ramirez. If he does, that kind of proves everything I've said for a long time to be completely true. But I don't think he's gonna botch this. He should win this. Ramirez is pretty terrible, and Mike Davis, I think, is pretty meh, but he's good enough to beat Mitch fucking Ramirez. So, give me Mike Davis by decision. My lock's a night. Very good chance he does finish him, but I won't be shocked if he just lays on Ramirez for 15 minutes, so you never know. It took Moises 3 rounds to finish him, so we'll see. But, yeah, give me Mike Davis by decision, lock of the night. He should beat Mitch fucking Ramirez. If you can't beat Mitch Ramirez, bro, again, you prove everything I've said for a long time to be true, so I don't like him. I've saw y'all overrate him for years, but give me Mike Davis as my lock of the night by decision in what should be a fucking layup. Good chance of a finish, but a layup. Simple as that. After that, we go to our third fight of the night, the best fight on the prelims, and should be on the main card, because this is a really good fight, actually. At heavyweight, I know it's crazy to say that, but I actually think this is a very good fight. And fuck if I know who's gonna win it, so let's talk about it. As we having our third fight of the night, going all the way up to the heavyweight division for the first time of 3 on this card, I believe. After the main event, we'll see heavyweights, and we got a good fight here as well at heavyweight. So let's see how the heavy boys start off the night for the heavy boys, as we have in our third fight of the night, all the way up at heavyweight for the first time till the main card, for the only time till the main card, I guess I should say. We have the best prelim, should be on the main card, a banger, hard fight to pick between Kennedy, African Savage, and Nzechukwu versus Valter, the clean monster, Walker. No joke, I do truly think this is a good fight at heavyweight. 2 guys who have looked really good lately in the division, 2 guys who should be ranked in the division right now over Martin Boudet and fucking insert other name here, McParkin. This is a good fight. Again, this should be on the main card. I think this is a very solid fight, one of the better fights of the night. It's a shame it's all the way down here when this is actually a really solid fight in the division between 2 pretty solid prospects in the division. And I'm very intrigued in this one, so let's look at it, man. We'll begin with the more well-known from light heavyweight now at heavyweight. Kennedy Nzechukwu, 14-5, 33 years old, 8-5 in UFC overall, 2-0 on the Contender Series, and also 2-0 at heavyweight. We're not going to talk about his light heavyweight run. We all know he had ups and downs, very highs and very lows down at light heavyweight. But since moving up to heavyweight, he's actually done very good. 2-0 in 2024, where he knocked out Chris Barnett and Lucas Bresky. Yeah, pretty terrible wins, I'll give you that. Chris Barnett, way smaller. Lucas Bresky, no talent at all. But it's something, I guess. And now he's getting his first real test up at heavyweight against Valter Walker. Kennedy's a dude who's always shown talent, and it's a shame he's really shit the bed a lot at light heavyweight, because I think the dude is extremely talented, but again, he's shit the bed so many times at light heavyweight. It's like, are we sure he's really talented? Because after a while, you can only fucking trick us so many times before we stop fucking believing you. But he is looking good at heavyweight, I guess, against a low level competition. But still, he's looking good. How long can he keep this up? We'll see. Hopefully he can keep it up for a while, and this is a real run for him. He is getting older. He is 33. He's had a lot of mileage, especially at light heavyweight. He's taken some wars. He's very talented. His striking is good. His power is great. He's really tall. So, his cardio ain't amazing, his grappling we can't really say a lot about, because I don't remember seeing much of it in his career. So, we'll see if that well, we know that's going to change here. So, this will be very interesting for Nzechukwu to see how he gets tested here against a full-blown grappler who does not want to strike with him at all. Let's see, will this be where he falls on his face and makes us all look stupid, or will he be able to pull off another win here and keep his heavyweight run going? Only time will tell for a guy who we've never been able to trust, but he's always had that talent, kind of very Ignacio Bahamondes, like a guy you can never trust. But he's very talented, so it's kind of a bitch not to go out there and pick him, so not much else to say about Kennedy. You just really don't know which version of him is going to show up on the fight night. The talented version, or the guy who shits the bed every chance he gets. Time will tell. Time will tell for this fight. Because he is fighting the very difficult to fight and the better Walker brother, Valter Walker, 13-1, 27 years old, pretty young still. 2-1 in UFC, really should probably be 1-1-1, but that's what I think. And his 2 UFC wins, he's beat Junior Tafa, who we'll talk about later, and Dontel Mays, and he lost to Lucas Bresky, which that says a lot. Valter in his debut looked pretty terrible, but ever since that debut loss to Bresky, he's looked pretty decent. Yeah, I think the Junior Tafa fight was kind of bullshit, because, I don't know how that's a submission, but whatever. But the Dontel Mays fight looked great. I get it's Dontel Mays, but he looked really good there. Now he's on 2 heel hooks back to back. He's the better Walker brother. Johnny is fucking terrible. I don't even know what you want me to say about him. But Valter is not great, but he looks alright. His striking is lackluster. His cardio is horrible. But his grappling is really solid. If he can get you down, if he locks up a submission, you're kind of fucked. So I get a small sample size so far, and he's really had a 1-1-1 UFC career. Again, he really did beat Dontel Mays, but low bar. He lost to Lucas Bresky, which is a lower bar somehow. And then, in my opinion, that Tafa fight should have been a no contest, but whatever. I don't know, I think Valter is interesting. He should be ranked, to be honest, because when he beat Dontel Mays was ranked in the division, so he's kind of got fucked over in that regard. But maybe he'll rewrite that wrong, and he'll prove he is the better Walker brother, so we'll see. This is a big test for him. This is a big test. The UFC is still giving him a chance after that Bresky loss, so let's see if he makes most of it. Let's see if he looks improved, because if the grappling doesn't work here, it could go really bad for Valter, like it did against Bresky. But time will tell. Time will tell with the better Walker brother. The betting odds for this fight, I think, are a little crazy. Kennedy and Nzechukwu minus 240 to plus 185. I get it. One beat Lucas Bresky, one lost to him. But I still struggle to... I think Valter's got way better since that fight, and I think Kennedy is hard to trust at those odds against someone who's not that awful. I would probably have it a pick'em. Maybe Kennedy a tiny favorite if you want to be specific. I'd probably say maybe Kennedy minus 130, 135. But I'm fine with a pick'em. Like, obviously the fight is as simple as if Kennedy can keep standing, he'll win. If he can't, Valter is going to win. But it's a tough one because you just can't trust Kennedy and Nzechukwu. I really just don't think you can trust him. And it's a shame. It's a fucking shame because the dude has a lot of talent. But can you really trust him? Especially against someone who's not a fucking waste of talent, not even waste of talent, a waste of roster space like Lucas Bresky or Chris Barnett. So, I don't know, but can you trust Valter against someone who's not awful either, like Dontel Mays? It's 50-50. I'm probably gonna go Kennedy and Nzechukwu. I think his path to victory is a lot easier and a lot more wide open compared to Valter's, who is very one-dimensional and just grapple. I think Kennedy's going to be able to stop the takedowns and win this fight over 50 minutes. I think both these guys are going to be really gassed going into the third. Valter, we know, is going to be gassed. Kennedy's probably going to be gassed from stopping takedowns all fight. But it's going to be an interesting one. I do think this is going to be an interesting one, and the winner should get a top 15 ranking, but that'd be 3 in a row, and this would be a really good win to add to the resume. So, I don't know. It's interesting. It's very interesting, and I think it's a good fight. Again, probably super underrated here on the prelims. They should be on the main card, but you know the UFC is gonna never order a card correctly, and that's just a fact there. So, but my pick here is gonna be Kennedy and Nzechukwu, probably by decision. I think he can stop takedowns for 15 minutes and win. So that's what I'm gonna say. He does. Give me Kennedy and Nzechukwu by decision. When I think of this fight, I think of Kennedy stuffing takedowns and winning. So, a sloppy, gassed fight after over 15 minutes. So, give me Kennedy and Nzechukwu by decision in what should be an interesting one between two of the better fighters at heavyweight at the moment. One has to win, one has to lose. Let's see who it is in this 50-50 fight. One of many 50-50 fights, in my opinion. Give me Kennedy and Nzechukwu by decision. Close fight, though. Very close fight. Man, I'm gonna pick decisions for this whole fucking prelims, but that's kind of the vibe of the card. Sorry, gang. After that, we go to our fourth fight of the main card, our second and final female fight of the night. Going up 10 pounds from strawweight to flyweight, we have a returning grandma. This should be an interesting one. This should be very interesting, as we have in our fourth fight of the night, our final female fight of the night at flyweight. A returning bullfrog is back, as we have Lauren Lucky Murphy versus Eduarda Ronda Moura. Yes, you heard that correctly. Lauren Murphy is back. I thought she retired also, but guess she's down to throw down one more time, and they're not giving her a favorable return fight. The young, very good Eduarda Moura. This should be interesting. I think this is very intriguing matchmaking and a very interesting fight. Let's talk about it. We'll begin with the veteran of the two, who's been around forever, making her return after a long time away. Lauren Murphy, 16-6, 41, about to be 42 years old in a couple weeks. 8-6 in the UFC. She's been in the UFC since 2014, and we've not seen her since 2023, when she got her head caved in by Jessica Andrade. To look back on Lauren's career, which has been kind of mid, her wins in UFC have been Kelly, not even going to try that last name. I guess she was on The Ultimate Fighter for some reason. Barb Hanchak, Mara Borrelia, on Andrea Lee, Roxanne Modafferi, Lulia, not going to try that name, Joanne Wood, and Misha Tate. And she did not win that Joanne Wood fight, might I add. Her losses: Sarah McMahon, Liz Carmouche, Caitlin Chukagian, Sajara Eubanks, Valentina. Yes, she did somehow get a title fight. I don't know why either. And Jessica Andrade. Yeah, Lauren Murphy is from that era of flyweight with Chukagian, Jennifer Maia, Jessica Ai, where they were not really good at all. But the division was so shallow and shit that fighters like Lauren Murphy and Caitlin Chukagian were the top of the division for a long time, and they kind of got this perception that they're actually good when they're not. They're fucking terrible. And Lauren Murphy, that kind of proved that. Like Lauren, like just for her example, not even the other ones I named, she's not good at all. Her best win is what? A Joanne Wood robbery, a ancient Misha Tate. So, and her career highlights, like getting a title shot she didn't even deserve because she didn't beat Joanne Wood, or fucking Jessica Andrade caving her teeth in. So, Lauren Murphy is just not very good, and now you're adding 2 years of aging onto an already not talented, damaged body. I don't know about this one, Lauren. You probably should have just stayed on the bench and not come back, because I think this could go really bad for her. But you never know. That crafty veteran. We'll see what Lauren can do in this, I can't say awaited return because no one gives a shit, but in this return, at least in a way, because she is not taking up a roster spot, not fighting. Let's see what Lauren Murphy can do in her return after over 2 years away. Let's see if she still got it. Not like she ever had it to begin with. But even if she does got it, she'd probably still lose to her opponent here, Eduarda Moura, 11-1, 31 years old, 2-1 in the UFC. Her 2 wins coming up to Contender Series have been Maserats and J.O. Ruiz and Veronica Hardy, and she did lose to Denise Gomes. You kind of got to talk about her career in two ways, and this is early in her career, so you really got to look at it that way. She started her UFC career at fucking strawweight for no reason when she couldn't make that weight at all, and she missed both times, and it clearly hampered her performance. Like, she looked pretty bad against Denise Gomes, obviously losing that fight. So, I don't know why the fuck she was fighting at strawweight, but now, after moving up to flyweight late last year, she got a big win against Veronica Hardy, who was on a winning streak and looking really good at that time, which that's a really good win. Again, Veronica was on a winning streak, and I think Eduarda was a pretty decent underdog, so that was a good win for her. And now she's leading the former top-ranked contender, Lauren Murphy, on her after her layup against a name maybe a few people remember from getting her ass kicked by Valentina, but overall, at least they can say, oh, she beat a former ranked title challenger, which they're going to. And it's a good way to build Eduarda up. She's still kind of young, 31 years old. She's still developing. This is only her second fight at flyweight. A win here, you could really start putting her close to the top 15. It's a good fight for Eduarda. It's a veteran. She should beat easily and get a nice name on her record. It's good matchmaking by the UFC and a good way to build up Eduarda, who looks to be a really good prospect. I get her strawweight run didn't go very well, but she's not a strawweight. I don't know what idiot was telling her to try and fight at strawweight, but that was an idiot idea. She's a flyweight. We all knew this from the start, and it's good to see her in her weight class now because she was never ever a fucking strawweight. So if she can build on that Veronica Hardy win, which looked really good, and we've not seen Hardy since, and at that time Hardy was getting a lot of hype as a prospect. Let's see if Eduarda can fucking get another win and prove she is back if she's back and she should have been at flyweight the whole time. Let's find out though. Gotta do the job first, but good to see Eduarda fighting in her weight class where she's going to be very good. The bang odds will agree with me here as well, having Eduarda Moura minus 650 to plus 430. Very hard to disagree with those odds. I don't know if maybe it's 630 a little high. Maybe. I guess you can go as high as 700. You might be reaching a bit there, but whatever. Not like she's gonna win, more than likely. What's the height and all that, I wonder? She's taller and a little bit shorter reach. Like, Eduarda should win this fight. She's way younger by 11 years almost. She's been way more active, and she's just a better fighter. Again, even if this was a prime Lauren Murphy, whatever the fuck that even means, I'm still taking Eduarda. I think she's better. Her striking's alright, her grappling's good. I'm taking Eduarda Moura. She's at flyweight now, which is her weight class. She has all the talent to be a legit prospect. That Veronica Hardy win's pretty good. I think Veronica's better than Lauren Murphy. Give me Eduarda Moura by decision. She should beat Lauren Murphy. If you can't beat Lauren fucking Murphy, there's kind of a few issues there, so give me Eduarda Moura by decision in a fight she should win. The UFC is giving her a layup against someone they probably forgot was even on the fucking roster. So give me Eduarda Moura by decision. Younger, faster, better, stronger. That simple. After that, we go to our co-main event of the prelims. Our first of a back-to-back at welterweight to end the prelims. And a back-to-back that is painful to try and predict because both are very tough fights to predict, in my opinion. As we have in our co-main event of the evening, the fifth fight of the co-main event of the prelims, our fifth fight of the night at welterweight. For a back-to-back to end the prelims there. We will begin that back-to-back with our first of two in our prelim co-main event between Jake the Celtic Kid Matthews versus Chidi Bang Bang Njokuani. Wow, this is not an easy one to predict. Two guys who are kind of hard to trust at times. Two guys who have shown talent, but not on a consistent basis. A welterweight versus a big welterweight. Two guys who've had a lot of fucking damage on their tires as fighters. This is going to be an interesting one. This is going to be very, very interesting. A lot of people are going to get this one wrong, I think. So, well, hopefully I'm not one of those people, but time will tell. Let's break it down. We'll begin with the UFC veteran of the two, Jake Matthews, 21-7, 30 years old. The fact that he's only 30 is fucking incredible. 14-7, been in the UFC since 2014. I'm not gonna go down his whole UFC career because he's again been in the UFC since 2014. but since coming back in 2022, he's kind of had a career resurgence to an extent, going 4-2, beating Andre Filho, Darius Flowers, Phil Rowe, and Francisco Prado, losing to Matthew Semmelsberger and Mike Morales. Jake is a guy who can look really good at times and really terrible at other times. Or he just fights really bad fighters. I get that those 4 wins are pretty bad. Andre Filho, terrible fighter. Darius Flowers, pathetic fighter. Phil Rowe, underwhelming. Francisco Prado, meh. And those 2 losses, Matthew Semmelsberger. I like Semmelsberger. I thought that guy was pretty underrated, but should you really be losing to him with how his career went? And Michael Morales, that's perfectly understandable. Did better than Gilbert Burns did, so a low bar, but still. Matthews is a guy, again, who can look great or terrible on any given fight night. Like against Prado and Rowe, he looked alright. His striking is good, his power is okay, but mainly he's just striking. Fundamentals overall is pretty decent. He has a wrestling game, his cardio's alright, his chin's good, he's a solid fighter. But there's times where he just doesn't show up, like the Semmelsberger fight might be the most prime example of that. So, he is good. Again, he is a very talented fighter, but he just can really underperform at times, and it's really affected him in fights where he should have won. So, he's got better striking over the years, and his wrestling's always been good, and his cardio's solid. But he's just never really been able to make that jump from average fighter to like a real prospect or contender. And as he gets older, only 30 years old still, but at this point I think his career has kind of been laid out for him. He's a journeyman. He's going to win some, he's going to lose some, and that's about that for Jake Matthews. So could he have probably done more? Yeah, he probably could have made a case for a ranking at one time for how his skills are, but he just really never did because he just never could. So, shame, but that's the Jake Matthews we know. He's not bad by any means, but if he's not at his best, he's prone to choking. Speaking of fighters who are annoying to try and watch and break down, Chidi and Njokuani, Jake's opponent, 25-10, 36 years old, 5-3 in the UFC between middleweight and welterweight. His middleweight career, he went 2-3 in the UFC, coming out Contender Series. He beat Marc-Andre Barriute and Dusko Todorovic, lost to Gregory Rodriguez, Albert Duraev, and Michael Jacek. He was pretty bad at middleweight. His cardio was awful, and he just kind of was prone to quitting against guys like Jacek and Rodriguez. Yeah, he beat a few guys, but they were pretty terrible. But then he moved down to welterweight for the first time in like a long time for him, and now he's on a 3-fight winning streak. A weird 3-fight winning streak though. He beat Reese McKee in a shit fight, he beat Jared Gooden in a shit fight, and he knocked out Zaleski. Those first 2 wins in pretty pathetic performances for Chidi was not great. Reese McKee, he just hugged on the cage for 3 rounds, which is pathetic. Jared Gooden, he kind of did the same thing, which is pathetic. Those are 2 of the worst fighters on the roster. And then against Zaleski, he did knock him out, which was a beautiful fucking knee. But where was that against 2 guys who are way worse than Zaleski? I don't get that. So, but Chidi did look good in that last fight against Zaleski, and knocking Zaleski out like that's pretty goddamn impressive. So, 36 years old, a veteran of the sport, pretty big for welterweight. Like, we know we're getting with Chidi, a very powerful guy who, if he touches you, you will go down. But he actually has to have that heart and want to put you out, because a lot of the time he kind of just becomes very passive, and it's very annoying to watch a guy who we know is pretty solid just kind of not look pretty solid. So, like, he's a veteran of the sport in general, and he's been through a lot, but he is another guy kind of like Jake Matthews who, when he's on, he's really good. When he's not, he's annoying to try and watch. So, hot and cold guy. One fight he looks great, next fight he's quitting. So, he's doing good at welterweight so far. How long can he keep it up? And we'll see if he can keep it up here in what's easily the hardest fight he's had so far at welterweight. Let's find out. The Bang Out's first fight are at a pick'em at the moment. I believe at least what they say here. I don't know how true that is, but it feels like that's probably true. And yeah, I agree. This is a complete pick'em. How can you trust either guy? One guy who's prone to underperforming and not being trustworthy. The other guy prone to underperforming and not being trustworthy. Good goddamn luck. Like, Chidi is way taller and way lengthier, but he's also 6 years older and has shittier cardio, in my opinion, so it's a hard one to pick. Because no matter which way you go, you're not going to feel like you're making the right pick, and God, are you going to be sitting on pins and needles during this fight? Like, God, good fucking luck. Like, I wouldn't touch this fight betting-wise with a 10-foot goddamn pole, because do you really want to trust either of these guys to not fuck up? I wouldn't. So, this is a tough one. Good fight. This should actually be a really good fight if they keep it on the feet, which they probably will. But who am I taking? It's a tough one. It's a very, 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 very tough one. But give me the weight bully. Give me Chidi and Njokuani. I think he can pull this one out. Again, I don't like him being way older, and I don't like him having the lesser cardio and lesser heart. But I think that height could be a big thing. He's looking good at welterweight. I think he's stronger. I think his power is pretty decent. I think his striking's a little bit better. He should be able to win this fight. If he can keep it standing and keep Jake at range, he can beat him from pretty far out. I think he can do that. I think Chidi can get the win here. But again, it's 50-50. You can make a good case for Jake Matthews as well, because it's just a fight you really don't want to put a lot of faith into, because you're probably going to be wrong, because you can't trust either guy. So it's a good fight, but having to predict this fight is not fun. Watching it's going to be fun. Predicting it's bitch, though. But my prediction, and more than anything, I guess, for this fight, is I'm probably going to go Chidi and Njokuani by decision. I don't like picking him because I've been burned by him a few times in the UFC career at this point, but I'll fall for that trap one more time if I have to. Give me Chidi and Njokuani by decision. I think he can win this. I've said that many times with him, and he's shit the bed, so we'll see. But I think he can win this. I truly do. So time will tell. But in a fight where I really don't like to pick, because flip a coin, you'll get as good of a guess. Give me Chidi and Njokuani by decision. I think he can win this one. Not gonna be confident at all. But that's why I say I think, and that's that. Oh, that's gonna burn me, ain't it? I already can see it. Speaking of fights that are gonna burn me, our featured prelim in the welterweight division. I told you it's a welterweight doubleheader, and no, it's not a glitch. This man is moving down to welterweight. I don't know why either. As we have in our featured prelim, a fight that I'm shocked ain't higher on the card, but I think this is a perfect prelim. A unk battle between two old dudes, one dude moving down for welterweight, one dude a welterweight veteran. We have to end our prelims, our preliminary main event in the welterweight division. We have Chris the Crying Man Curtis versus Max Payne Griffin. This fight's alright. This fight's not bad. Again, maybe 5 years ago it would have been a lot better, but it's still not bad. I'm not gonna waste a lot of time on it because I can't stand Chris Curtis. I'll never pick him, so you kind of give away who I'm picking here. But I will actually talk about a tiny bit. Chris Curtis is moving down to welterweight, which I don't love that idea for him at, how old is he now? 37 years old. That's not a great idea. At that age, to drain yourself that much for the first time in a long time? I don't think that's a good idea. I truly don't. But maybe, like, he looked alright on the media day, picks and all that, so we'll see. Maybe he is gonna be better. Like, he's not been great at middleweight the last couple years, so only win with a questionable decision against Marc-Andre Barriou. So, yeah, take that as you will. I still think he's a bitch. I still can't respect Chris Curtis at all, and he is just Sean Strickland's bitch boy. But, yeah, he's not a good fighter either, and I don't think this welterweight cut's gonna do good for him. Either, no matter what happens, he's gonna bitch and moan and cry about everything, because that's what Chris Curtis does best. But, yeah, I don't have a lot of hope for this welterweight run of Chris Curtis at 37 years old, so maybe I'm wrong, but I struggle to see it. And then for his opponent, Max Griffin, a guy who's been in UFC a long time. 20-11, 39 years old, 8-9 in the UFC, coming off a bad loss to Michael Chiesa. Not gonna go down his whole UFC career because we'd be here a long time. And in the last couple years, he's been a very win-lose guy, I think, which is kind of not showing how good he really is. He probably should have won that Neil Magny fight, to be honest. And then Morales and Chiesa are some tough opponents. I think Max Griffin's pretty underrated. I've said that for a long time. I think the dude's pretty solid as a fighter. No top 15 level guy, but I think he's like top 30, same level as like a Muslim Shalikov. I think he's very solid, and he's had some good moments. The Kenan Song knockout, he beat Jeremiah Wells as an underdog. He should have beat Neil Magny. He retired Carlos Condit. Like, not many great moments before then. He did go on a few losing streaks, but he lost to Chidi at one point. But I don't think Max Griffin's a bad fighter. Like, again, that Chiesa fight, he looked terrible, and I picked him there as a big underdog. I thought he was going to be able to beat a Chiesa who really hasn't got a win in like a long time, but he kind of shit the bed there. But I think this is a step down from Chiesa. You're getting more of a striker who's moving down from middleweight at 37 years old. A lot more favorable than a Chiesa who was hungry for a win after not really getting one in a while, and it's a grappler. So, I don't know, I've always kind of thought Max Griffin's pretty underrated and pretty decent. And he's proved me right at times and proved me wrong at other times. So, we'll see what he does here. This could be his last UFC fight. 39 years old. If he took another L here, especially in a bad fashion, I wouldn't be shocked if he did get cut. But a win here would be pretty big as well, so let's find out. It should be very intriguing. It should be a good fight, probably gonna be a striking match. So, let's find out, man. Let's find out. The betting odds have Chris Curtis as a giant favorite, which I'm not shocked by. I, like always, the betting odds are going to disrespect Max Griffin, even though I don't completely hate him here. I guess I understand it to an extent, but doesn't mean I agree with it. Again, biasedly, I'm going to pick Max Griffin because fuck Chris Curtis, but I am more than likely going to say Chris Curtis should win this fight. He's 2 years younger, he's fought better guys lately. He should beat a 39, almost 40-year-old Max Griffin, even if I do think Max is a little underrated. He is getting up there in age. He did look terrible in the last one out, and Curtis has fought some alright guys lately. He lost to them, but still, he should be able to win this one. So, if I was being unbiased, I'd pick Chris Curtis. But since I'm completely biased, give me fucking Max Griffin. I only picked Curtis like a few times. Picked him 3 times. I don't know why, but yeah, fuck him. I can't stand Chris Curtis. He's a bitch. Give me Max Griffin, who, again, I do like Max Griffin. I think he's underrated. completely biased. I don't actually think he's going to win, but give me Max Griffin by decision in what should be an interesting featured prelim to end a interesting set of prelims. A lot of decisions. Oh boy. Yeah, not very much else to say there, man. Prelims are not bad. You got 6 pretty solid fights, and really none of the fights you can point out as a bad one. Maybe the Mike Davis fight, but even that could be alright. Probably the best chance at the finish. Like Fatima, great prospect, gonna look good. Mike Davis could finish Mitch. Worst case scenario, he just lays on him for 3 rounds. Kendi and Valter is very interesting. Eduarda and Lauren's kind of interesting. Chidi and Jake is interesting. Max and Curtis is interesting. It's a solid prelims. Again, I wish I had more finishes predictions, but the only one I really see being a finish possibility is Mike and Mitch. Maybe Fatima or Kendi pulls one out, but it's unlikely. So we're really relying on a Mike Davis finish. That's pretty gross, to be honest. Pretty goddamn gross. So, again, hopefully he gets it, but I have my doubts. I feel like we might get a lot of decisions. But I do think the main card's going to have a few finishes, so why not stop talking about it in the third person? Let's actually dive into it. Decent prelims, a lot of decisions, but still decent. And with that being said, let's get into the main card as we begin it with another fighter changing weight classes, the second of 3 in a row. I didn't remember to say that earlier, but yeah, 3 fighter weight class changes in a row, as we have in our main card opener at light heavyweight a very interesting fight that should probably not go 15 minutes, but you never really know, as we have to begin UFC Nashville's main card, Junior, the Juggernaut, Tafa versus Tuco, Tokkos. Interesting main card opener. Good to see the Tafa brother not fighting at heavyweight for once. We finally get Junior moving down to light heavyweight. That's gonna be interesting. And they're giving him a pretty easy fight, so this should be interesting. This should be a very interesting one, so let's look at it. It's a pretty simple fight to break down, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time, but I'm still intrigued to see a Tafa brother not at heavyweight, so let's talk about it. As we will begin with our first main card fighter, the again moving down a weight class, Junior Tafa, 6-3, 28 years old in his career, 2-3 in the UFC. At heavyweight, he again went 2-3, beat Parker Porter and Sean Sharif, did lose to Mohamed Usman, Marcos Rogerio de Lima, and Valter Walker. Yeah, Junior Tafa is not far from his brother. They're both pretty bad fighters overall. No grappling, no cardio, no real fight technique. Really, it's just hitting really fucking hard, because that's what they're good at. Outside of that, they're not the most talented. But now this move down to light heavyweight opens up a lot of interesting things for Junior Tafa. We're gonna see how good he really is. I think his kicking game, and he's a little more evolved than his brother. In that last fight against Sean Sharif, he looked okay. Not great, but okay. And now we're going to see him down at light heavyweight, which has been on his bingo card for a hot minute now, so it's good to actually see him finally doing it. So, let's see how he looks. I think physically he looks alright. We did see the media day photos. He looks good. Even here, he looks like a light heavyweight. He's not a big dude at all. He only weighed in at 241, which I think that's pushing it. He doesn't look that heavy. So, let's see how he does here. Getting a layup in his debut at light heavyweight, kind of got good power still. Grappling kind of sucks, but his technique is still good. Let's see what he can do, man. Let's see if the Tafa brothers can do good at light heavyweight as they have done perfectly mid at heavyweight. Only time will tell. Happy Junior finally stopped being lazy and fat and decided to move down. We'll see how he looks, man. And then to talk about his opponent, Tuco. Tokkos Why is he still here? 10-5, 35 years old, 0-2 in the UFC. First time we saw him was against Zhang Mingyang a couple years ago on Road to UFC, where he got fucking folded. Then he won 3 in a row, and then had 2 UFC fights since, fighting Omer Sy and Navio Sterling. Neither one of those losses aging very well. Tuco looked terrible in both. I'm not even trying to be funny when I say this. I don't think I've seen one positive thing in Tuco's game since his debut in his first 2 fights. He can't grapple, he has no cardio, he has no striking. He blocks punches really well, which is a rarity to say. He actually does have a good defensive game. In the Navio Sterling fight, he blocked everything. But outside of that, this dude's terrible. For being a Brendan Allen, best friend, he did not take a single trait from Brendan Allen. He can't grapple as good as him. He has no fucking striking. He's fucking terrible. So, and the UFC is just using him as cannon fodder here to give Junior Tafa a free win in his light heavyweight debut, so it's probably gonna work perfectly, so let's see, man, let's see. The betting odds for this fight have Junior Tafa minus 180 to plus 140. Yeah, I agree, you could have Tafa minus 200. He should win this fight. He's the better fighter overall. I think his striking is better, his power is better. Keep it on the feet, knock Tuco out pretty easily. Pretty simple game plan. Give me Junior Tafa by knockout in the first. The UFC's giving him a definition of a layup in his first fight. He's going to eventually break through the guard, break Tuco's chin, and put him out cold. It's pretty simple. He's going to be slimmer, faster, and just as powerful. Junior Tafa by knockout in the first. Pretty fucking simple, like I said. Not much to it. He's the better fighter. I'm excited to see him down at light heavyweight. This is a layup. Tuco Tokkos is fucking garbage. Junior Tafa by knockout in the first. There's not much more that needs to be said there. It's pretty fucking simple. And that's that. After that, we get to our second fight of the main card, a fight I'm going to waste a little time on because I don't even know what you want me to say about it at this point. Fucking the worst fight on the card, as we have in our second fight of the main card, for some reason this high on the card. We head back to heavyweight for the second of 3 fights at heavyweight on this card, as we have the worst fight of the night, the lowest level fight of the night, a complete clown show of a fight. As we have in our second fight of the main card, Vitor Petrino versus Austen Lane. Oh my fucking god. What do you want me to say here? Petrino is moving up to heavyweight because he's a shitty light heavyweight. Austen Lane is just shitty. Still a heavyweight, still a terrible. What do you want me to say? Petrino's a bodybuilder, Lane's a shitty fighter. I don't give a fuck who wins. I think they're both god-awful. I don't think this is as easy of a fight as the betting odds are making it out to seem for Vitor Petrino, because he's just shit. Again, he lost to Anthony fucking Smith, so keep that in mind. He's not fought at heavyweight before. I don't believe he's ever fought at heavyweight. He looks fucking ginormous at heavyweight. Where do I see the weight classes? I'm clicking the completely wrong thing, my bad. I'm an idiot. Has he ever fought at heavyweight? No, he's only ever been a light heavyweight, so that's interesting. He's much shorter. I don't know, you can go either way here, or you're picking a bad fighter. I might lean Austen Lane here, to be honest. He's bigger. He has more experience at heavyweight. He's a grappler. He knows how it feels to be at heavyweight, and Vitor Petrino had shit cardio to begin with. Now add on 30-40 pounds. Good luck. Good fucking luck. I think both guys suck. I think you can go either way here. I might lean Austen lane, but at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck. They're both terrible, and this should not even be on. This should be a PFL main event. Like, that has no business being on the main card, let alone a UFC card. They are both fucking terrible. From terrible to really good, the final 4 fights are very good here. So let's get into them. As we have in our third fight of the main card, our first of a double header at featherweight, we have a banger and the only hometown fighter on the card, as we have going away from low-level heavy and light heavy back down to talented fighters in smaller weight classes. We have in our third fight of the night a easy fight of the night candidate. Might not win it, but you never know. When this guy's in the fight, has a good chance of being fight of the night. As we have Night the Train Landwehr versus Morgan the Last Pirate Charrière. Like I said, if Nate the Train's in the fight, high chance he's gonna be fight of the night, and he's at home in Tennessee. This is gonna be a good one. Finally back to real fights on this main card. The junior Tafa fight ain't bad, but it's a Tafa brother, so you know it's not the most skilled thing in the world. This is nothing. This is either, but this is a very entertaining fight. Nate the Train at home, Morgan Charrière, guy who not really sure what to think of at this point. This is a good fight. High chance of being fight of the night. Let's talk about it. And we'll begin with the hometown hero, the only hometown fighter on the card, I believe. Night the Train, 18-6, 37 years old, 5-4 in the UFC. Nate's an interesting case because, I guess Nate's kind of like a few other people we've talked about on this card. He's very 50-50. At times, he looks great. At other times, he shits the bed. His wins in UFC, Darren Elkins, Ludwig Kline, David Onama, Austen Lingo, and Jamal Emmers. His losses, Herbert Burns, Julian Erosa, Danny Gay, and Duho Choi. He's never been able to get over that hump of beating a top, I guess he beat David Onama, who's top 15 ranked somehow now, but lately, he's not really been able to get over the hump of a top level guy, or Duo Choi. Like, Austen Lingo and Jamal Emmers are not the great. Jamal Emmers is okay, Austen Lingo's garbage, so. Like, again, Nate's just a guy who can show up and look great, or show up and look terrible. Against Ige and Choi, he looked like a joke. Against Emmers and Lingo, he looked great. It's weird, because Nate is a good fighter. Kind of. His striking is good, his power is alright, his grappling offensively is there, defensively non-existent. His chin's good, his cardio's alright, his heart's insane. He's a fun fighter. He's a fucking fun brawler. That's kind of something that's fucked him over in the past, because it becomes a technical fight. You know how brawlers are. If you fight the brawler, then the brawler doesn't really know what to do, because they just want to brawl. So, I don't know. I think Nate's a dude who's shown a lot of potential, but never really got to hit it. He's 37 years old now. Happy at the end of the hometown fight, but we'll see how it goes for him. We know what he's trying to do. Just go out there and have a fucking war. Someone's going to go down and get bloody. I don't know. It's another guy who's just never really been able to get over the hump of again, I don't know. Hindsight, that David Onama wins, really interesting. I don't know what that says about Landwehr, but I don't know, he's not bad, but lately he's been getting crushed by top level guys, and again, just never really been able to break that glass ceiling. Not Charrière ain't a top guy, so not gonna change here, but could he get a hometown win? Let's find out. to talk about his opponent, the French, the enemy in this fight, because he's going into enemy territory. 20-11-1, Morgan Charrière, 29 years old, 2-2 in the UFC. His 2 wins in UFC have been Manolo Nzechukwu and Gabriel Miranda. His 2 losses have been Chepe Mariscal and Nathaniel Wood. Charrière is a guy who's kind of hard to read. He's looked really good against bad fighters like Zenchi and Miranda. But he looked good in that Chepe fight. He should have won that fight, in my opinion. And then against Nathaniel Wood, he got completely just schooled. Like, he had nothing for Nathaniel Wood, and it showed quickly. So that was a very worrying fight to see him just get kind of shut down, like, completely over 3 rounds. He just couldn't do anything to Nathaniel. So now he's getting a step down against a veteran, but not someone as good as Nathaniel Wood, but someone not as bad as Gabriel Miranda and Manolo. How does Charrière do here? Coming off another loss, I think we've kind of seen how good Charrière really is. Maybe, I don't know. From what I'm guessing, he's not the best. He's never going to be able to beat a higher level guy. But he's not terrible. He can beat up these tomato cans. We've seen these guys 100 times. He's average. His striking is alright. His power is alright. His grappling, yeah. Cardio, yeah. He's okay. He's not great, but he's okay. And I think that's what we can say about him at this point. He's not a prospect. He came into the UFC looking like a prospect. We quickly learned he's not really a legit prospect. He already shocked you from Cage Warriors. How many of those guys have flamed out lately? Jordan Fusenich. Fucking Oban Elliott. So, take that as you will. The dude has talent, but he's just an average fighter. Again, Nathaniel Wood schooled him, which I'm not bad thing. Nathaniel Wood's great. But he got completely schooled by Nathaniel Wood, and now he's gonna get a step down in enemy territory. Yes, Nate Train, who could either look great or terrible. Again, against Morgan, who kinda, I don't know how he does against adversity, especially Nate Train level adversity. Let's find out, man. Let's fucking find out what Morgan can do here, what he can put up here again against a motivated Nate Train at home. Let's find out. The Bangouts first fight have Morgan Charrière minus 250 to plus 195. I've never agreed with those odds ever since they came out. I don't get why people think this is a layup for Morgan. Both guys are decent fighters. This is, like, Nate Train ain't no pushover. His only losses lately are Duho Choi and Dan Ige. So, I think fucking Nate Landwehr fits into the level of guys Charrière has been losing to more than Charrière fitting into the level of guys Nate's been losing to, if that makes any fucking sense. I don't know. Like, I truly don't think Charrière should be a giant favorite. I think it should probably be closer to a pick'em. Probably should be a pick'em. I think this is another really difficult, the last difficult fight to pick on this card. Like, Nate Train, untrustworthy, getting older. Charrière, still kind of hard to determine how good he really is. This is a 50-50 fight. What's the height? Same height, pretty much. Bigger reach for Nate. This is a good fight. This is gonna be a really fun fight. I can guarantee that. I can't guarantee who wins, because fuck if I know. But this is gonna be a good fight. Who's gonna win, though? At least who am I leaning towards? I'm not gonna say who's gonna win, but who am I leaning towards? Give me the hometown guy. Give me Nate Train. I think he's the best underdog on the card. Not saying you should bet him, because that's at your own risk. But I think value-wise, I think he's the best underdog. He, at home, fighting a guy who's still on the debatable side of how good he is. Motivated. We've seen Nate perform really well at times. especially in front of crowds. Like, he's gonna take it to Morgan, and we're gonna see if Morgan can fucking sink or swim. Can he handle the Nate Tran pressure? We'll find out. If he can, he'll beat him. Same thing Dan Ige and Duo Choi did. But if he can't handle that, he's gonna crumble like everyone else did. So, this is gonna be an interesting one. I'm very intrigued, and I'm gonna go Nate to train. I think Nate can pull off the upset. I think Nate might be a little bit better of a fighter by a hair. A little more heart, a little better cardio, etc., etc. And I'm gonna go Nate to train in the UFC to get the hometown win in the UFC by decision. I think he can take it to Morgan and beat him. Will his age badly? High chance. But I think Nate's the best dog on the card, and I'm gonna go Nate to train in the UFC. I remember seeing these odds a few weeks ago, and I said Nate could pull off the upset. After really looking over the fight and thinking about it, I'm going Nate. Again, I'm not saying bet him. That's at your own will, and don't blame any bet you do on me. But I do think Nate's the best dog on the card, and I'm going Nate to train by decision at home. Let's see, man. Let's see. Another 50-50 fight. Can Nate drown him? Can Morgan survive? Gonna be a banger. Cannot wait. Give me Nate to train in the UFC by decision at home in a banger. Speaking of bangers, after that, our co-main to the co-main, staying at featherweight for a top 15 fight for the 14th ranking in the division, I believe. This is going to be good. This is going to be quick, and this is going to be sad. You can say that for the last 3 fights on this card. As we have in our 4th fight of the main card, the co-main to the co-main, the start of the big 3 on the card, our first unk of 3 back-to-back-to-back, kind of, who's getting fed to the wolves. We have in our 4th fight of the night, last fight at featherweight of the back-to-back header, Calvin, the Boston finisher, Kattar, versus Steve, Mean Machine, Garcia. This is gonna be fun. This ain't gonna go 15 minutes. This is gonna be fun. This fight should have happened a few months ago, I remember. I think I forget what Apex card it was, but it should have happened then. But Garcia pulled out, sadly. But now we're getting it here in front of a crowd. This is gonna be good. I'm very excited for this. Happy Garcia is getting his shot. Let's see what Kattar has left in the tank. This is a great fight. Let's talk about it. We'll begin with the OG of this fight, the 37-year-old Calvin Kattar, 23-9, a veteran, 7-7 in the UFC, and a lot of those L's on the latter 7 side have been lately. His wins in the UFC have been Andre Fili, Shane Burgos, Chris Fishgold, Ricardo Lamas, Jeremy Stevens, Dan Ige, and Giga Chikadze. His losses have been Renato Moicano, Zabit Magomed Sharipov, Max Holloway, Josh Emmett, Arnold Allen, Aljamain Sterling, and Yusuf Zalal. Kattar super washed. I think we saw the end of his career pretty much against Arnold Allen when he blew out his knee, because he was already old then, and now he's blowing out his knee at that age. Because ever since coming back, he's looked terrible. He got demolished by Aljo, which says a lot right there. And then got fucking embarrassed pretty much against Yusuf Zalal. Well, to an extent, because all Zalal did for 15 minutes was run away, so take that as you will. Like, those 2 fights, well, at least the Zalal fight's a fight he easily would have won in his prime, because Zalal is garbage. But in 2025, after all the injuries at his age, he just doesn't really have any anymore. Like, even go back a couple years ago, he was doing really good. Dan Ige, good win. Max Holloway, fun fight. Giga, fraud checked him. Josh Emmett, people think he won that. And then he blows out his knee, takes 2 years off, and looks awful. He just doesn't have it anymore. Like, he's on a 4-fight skid, which is the worst run of his career. He's now losing 2 guys who shouldn't even be close to fighting him or giving him a fight, like Yusuf Zalal. Like, he just don't got it anymore. Like, the injuries really put him in the grave pretty much. Like, his body just gave up on him. Like, at one point, Kattar was really good, but in 2025, at 37, post all the injuries, man just doesn't have it anymore. He truly just doesn't, and kind of a shame, because he was alright at one point. He was never great. He was never some great fighter, but at one point he was pretty decent, and now kind of just shows himself. I can say that for a few people on this card coming up. To talk about his opponent, Steve Garcia, the much younger, much more informed fighter here. 17-5, 33 years old, 6-2 in UFC. Wow, a lot more green than red lately. The wins for Garcia in UFC have been Charlie Ontiveros, Chase Hooper, Shai Leonard Bekoff, Melky Costa, Sungwoo Choi, and Kyle Nelson. His losses have been Luis Pena and Machete. I don't know what the fuck popped in Steve Garcia, but ever since the Machete loss, he just said, fuck it, I'm going to kill people, and he did. Chase Hooper, round 1. Shailen, round 2. Melky, round 2. Sungwoo Choi, round 1. Kyle Nelson, round 1. Like, this, he's just, I don't know what happened, but out of nowhere, a guy who looked like a pretty mid fighter for a while turned into one of the best fucking like knockout artists at featherweight, on a 5-fight knockout streak now, riding high, 33 years old. He's hitting his prime. Like, the complete opposite of Calvin Kattar, who's way past it. Steve Garcia is right dab in the middle of hitting his prime, knocking people out. And yes, I guess that winning streak ain't amazing. Like, Chase Hooper and Melky Costa has aged really well. Shailen sucks, Sungwoo Choi sucks, Kyle Nelson sucks. But still 2 decent wins and still knocking people out, which is something that's rare to see in the UFC nowadays. And Garcia is really good. He has ground game, he has striking, he has power. He's still kind of young, 33 years old, hitting his prime, getting a layup here to get into the top 15. This guy's good. Again, like I said, the complete opposite of his opponent, who's on the downslide. He's on the upside. We've seen it 100 times. The old guard fighting the new guard. Never really goes well. Doubt it does here. Steve Garcia looking for number six in a row when it comes to wins and knockouts. We'll see if he can get it, man. We'll see if he can get it. He should, but will he? The Bangouts first fight have Steve Garcia minus 140 to plus 115. Yeah, I don't know. I would have him a much bigger favorite. Garcia should be minus 250, 300. He should win this fight. I just don't see him losing this fight. Calvin's looked terrible lately. He lost to Zalal, who was way worse than Garcia. This is Kattar's last fight. Gonna go on a 5-fight skid. Gonna be out the top 15. UFC will either cut him or he'll retire. I just don't know how you could pick Kattar here. You're gonna pick the 37-year-old on a 4-fight skid over the 33-year-old on a 5-fight knockout streak. I don't see your fucking logic there, but if you want to do that, go ahead. 25% are, I don't know what the fuck they're thinking, but do they know something we don't? I highly doubt it. Give me the guy who's younger and better. Give me Steve Garcia by knockout in the first. I think he adds another head to his mantle. He finally gets ranked, which long overdue. And he puts Kattar into retirement. It sucks. It truly does. It sucks that it has to go this way, but time waits for nobody, and I'm going to say that a few times in the next couple fights, but time waits for nobody. Didn't wait for Calvin Kattar. Steve Garcia ain't going to wait for him. Give me Steve Garcia by knockout in the first. The old guard getting taken out by the new guard. A tale as old as time. Steve Garcia, knockout in the first. After that, we get finally to our co-main event of the evening. Another old guard versus young guard matchup, and the age gap's even bigger than a couple years from our last fight. Not gonna waste a lot of time here because this is just sad and it sucks to see a legend get this treatment and get beat by a guy who's not even close to his skill level, prime for prime. But that's how the cookie crumbles, man. And then our co-main event of the evening, going back to welterweight for the last time tonight, we have an old guard versus new guard matchup in the top 15 of the division for the, I think, 12th ranking at welterweight. We have in our co-main event of the evening, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Gabriel Maratinha Bonfim. This is a sad one. I'm not gonna waste a lot of time here because we don't know what's gonna happen, but yeah, this is a sad co-main event. I'd say maybe the saddest of the three because, like, this, we all know Wonderboy just gonna get cuddled for 15 minutes. We've seen it 100 times. It's the best way to beat Wonderboy. He's never really been good at grappling. He's 40. Was he 41 or 42? I believe 42 now. Very old. Like, he was looking good against Buckley, but Buckley kind of sucks. And Buckley was in a striking match with him, so Bonfim will not do. Bonfim just gonna cuddle him. It sucks to say because we all love Wonderboy, dude's a legend, but I don't know, it just sucks because we all know Wonderboy would smash Bonfim 5 years ago. But at 42, very old, fighting a guy who's just gonna grapple him, who's 27, so what, a fucking 15-year age gap almost? Like, it sucks. It sucks to see Wonderboy getting this treatment, but it is what it is. I don't know why they won't do the MVP fight with him. Oh, it's gonna suck. Then I'd rather see it suck than see it never happen. Like, or why not give him Brian Battle? Or fucking, I don't know, who another prospect, Protez, if you want to get him back on. Well, I guess Joff Neal's just as shitty. But, and against Bonfim, no less, who, yeah, he has looked good since that loss to, Dalby, but against who? Angelosa, who just got cut, and Chaos Williams, who is kind of just hit hard. So, it sucks. It really sucks to see Wonderboy losing to a guy like this who's not even close to his level, prime for prime, but age waits for nobody, father time waits for nobody, and they'd never wait for Wonderboy. So, sadly, my pick here, I don't need to go in depth on this, we know what's going to happen. My pick here is going to be Gabriel Bonfim by decision. He is going to cuddle Wonderboy. I want to be wrong. Trust me, I don't like Bonfim. I think he's a fraud. And we all like Wonderboy more. But on my honest pick here, give me Gabriel Bonfim by decision. He is going to grapple Wonderboy just like Gilbert did, just like Bilal did, just like Woodley did, just like Shavkat did. Again, he's not going to submit him because that's almost impossible. Only Shavkat could. And Bonfim ain't that good. He's not good at all, actually. But give me Gabriel Bonfim by decision here. He should beat a 42-year-old Wonderboy. If he chokes this, which would be fucking hilarious, he deserves to be laughed at, but more than likely he'll get the job done here. Unlike the last time he fought an old guy, he should have beat Nicholas Dalby, but Nicholas Dalby I think is better than at that point in time than Wonderboy is now. He's way younger somehow. Give me Gabriel Bonfim by decision. I hate to say that, because again, 5 years ago, Wonderboy was 30-25 of this clown. But in 2025, when he's 42, it sucks to see, but that's the end of this might be his last dance. The end of the road for Wonderbread. It sucks, but father time waits for nobody, and it didn't wait for Wonderboy. Gabriel Bonfim by decision. And now, speaking of old dudes getting fed to the wolves, the last of the big three in that department, poor guys, we have our main event of the evening, our 12th and final fight of the night in Nashville, Tennessee. We have to end the card, our first main event back since Ilya Topuria. a little bit of a downgrade in every facet you can think of, but still, no, it's not a good main event at all. I can't even try and defend it. We have in our main event of the evening, in the heavyweight division to end UFC Nashville, Derrick the Black Beast Lewis versus Tallison Ikao Teixeira. Do I even need to, like, I just said with Wonder Boy, do I need to say what's gonna happen here? I'll talk about it a little bit. Let's look at Derrick Lewis. 28-12, 40 years old, first bout Hall of Famer, legend of the sport, most knockouts, yada yada yada. The dude's 40. Like, his only wins in the last couple years have been Chris Daukaus, Marcos Rogerio de Lima, and Rodrigo Nascimento. He's 40. He's not the most active anymore. I hate to say it about a legend like Derrick, but I truly think he's just showing up for a paycheck now. I truly do. He knows he's not making a run. He knew he was not making a run 5 years ago. He's gotten older. He's now, like, he's 40. Like, he still got the power. If he touches your chin, you're gonna go down. But outside of that, like, we saw in the Joust and Almeida fight, his grappling has gotten worse. He's never really been the most cardio fucking great guy. Like, he's just gonna try. Now he's fighting a guy way taller, way younger, that he has to try and somehow knock out. I truly think Derrick's just showing up for a paycheck. I hate to say that, but I truly think that Popeyes ain't cheap. That, no, that's not meant to be a bad joke. That's the joke of Derrick Lewis. He loves Popeyes, so I don't want to fucking hear it. I love Derrick Lewis. I'm gonna pick him here biasly. We all love Derrick Lewis. He's not gonna win this fight. He's way older. He's 15 years older. He's way shorter. And he needs to fucking somehow hit this guy hard enough to knock him out. Good goddamn luck, man. Good luck. And there's no point in clicking on Tallison's page. He's 1-0 in the UFC, beating Justin Tafa a few months ago. We really don't know anything about him yet. He's really tall and really powerful. We'll see if he can perform here and get a big win. He probably should. He probably will. He's just kind of an unknown commodity at this point, so that's why a lot of people are picking Derrick. I don't think they actually think he's gonna win. If you do, respect to you. I think you're fucking insane. But I just think, trust me, I would love to make any case for Derrick Lewis winning this fight. I don't see it. Betting odds have Tallison minus 250. I just don't see a case for Derrick. Yeah, he can hit hard and knock the dude out, but outside that, he's, again, 15 years older. He's way shorter in everything you can think of. The UFC is doing what they've done to Derrick a couple times now. They're feeding him to the wolves. Austen, Pavlovich, like, come on, man. It's a shame. It's truly a fucking shame, but that's what the UFC does, man. They fuck over legends. So, again, I would love to make any case for Derrick Lewis winning this fight, but outside of getting a lucky knockout, like, in the grappling, Tallison's better. At range, Tallison's better. Like, he's younger, probably faster. If you're making me pick this fight unbiasedly, Tallison Teixeira is gonna finish Derrick in the first 2 rounds. But biasedly, when I could make whatever pick I want, and I don't really care if I get it wrong or not, because I do this shit for fun, give me Derrick Lewis by knockout in the first. One last time. Give me Derrick Lewis. I don't know what else to say. I hope he wins. I think we all do. He's not gonna, but we're all cheering for it. And at the end of the day, I do picks for fun, so I'm gonna put in the pick I care about most. Like always, I've never picked against Derrick Lewis. I don't believe. So give me Derrick Lewis by knockout in the first. Have I ever picked against Derrick? I'd be fucking amazed if I did. No, never picked against Derrick. Not gonna start now. Give me Derrick Lewis by knockout in the first. He's not gonna win. It's completely biased, but one last time. Hopefully his last fight. It's his 30th UFC fight. Give me the Black Beast by knockout in the first. Biasedly, because it's not gonna happen. But at the end of the day, his balls are still hot, and he has one more in him. I believe it. No, I don't. Come on, Derrick. We're all cheering for you, brother. And finally, that's the card. Boom. To go over my picks one more time. Jesus, an hour and a half. I heard someone tell me, "Oh, get 30 minutes, RX." Yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Hi, J Beers. I know you know. Yeah, I'm gonna make the best video I can make. Is not 30 minutes. It's an hour and 30 minutes. So I'm gonna show up and tell you my picks one more time. Fatima Kline by decision. Mike Davis by lock of the night by decision. Kendi and Nzechukwu by decision. Eduarda Moura by decision. Chidi and Njokuani by decision. Max Griffin completely biasedly by decision. Junior Tafa by knockout in first. I'm probably gonna lean Austen lane, but they both suck, who cares? Landwehr by decision. Chidi Garcia by knockout in first. Gabriel Bonfim by decision. And Derrick Lewis, one last time, completely biased by knockout in first. His balls are still hot. Bang. Last thing I'll say before we go into the outro, I know a lot of decisions, but I think I said earlier, how many finishes do you really see on this card? Fatima, unlikely. Mike Davis, maybe. Kennedy, unlikely. Eduarda, probably not. Chidi, probably not. Or Jake, probably not. Max and Curtis, probably not. Lane and Petrino, maybe. The Landwehr, Charrière, doubtful. Wonderboy Bonfim, doubtful. So, the only one I would really, if I had to put one more in, I'd probably go Mike Davis, but even then I wouldn't be very confident. So the UFC is just not full of finishers at the moment, and it sucks, but mostly, maybe prove me wrong. Give us 12 finishes, please. But that's not gonna happen. So give us 12 carnage, but it's just not gonna happen. So, but that's the card. It's not great. It's not bad though. I still stand by the idea that it needs one more fight on top of it. If, again, put a real main event on top of this being the co-main, you could have a great card. But Derrick Lewis in 2025 against a 1-0 dude who really nobody knows outside of one Justin Tafa win, which means nothing. I don't know, man. I don't love it as a main event. It's gonna be a fun main event because it's gonna end early, but it still shouldn't be a main event at all, in my opinion. So maybe I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. I hope this card's amazing. I hope I'm completely wrong. The greatest card of all time. Yada yada. Of course, I want to be wrong in that regard. But will I be? We'll see. Will I be right on any of my picks? We'll see. There's a lot of 50-50 fights. A few picks can really burn me. Like, not Max and Derrick, they're biased, but Nate Landwehr, Austen Lane, those could really burn me. So, we'll see if they do. And at the end of the day, you'll find out video-wise on Sunday with the recap. That'll come out sometime on Sunday. Fuck if I know anymore when. But sometime on Sunday. And then streaming-wise, I will be going live tonight, because this video is coming out on Friday, so I'll say tonight, for a mini UFC Nashville Breakdown. You know, I know this is it, but if you want to do that on stream with me, come on in. I'll have the stream up soon, so you can see what time it's starting. Hopefully to see you there. Hope you enjoy it. And then streaming-wise, tomorrow, Saturday, we'll be doing an after party after the card, and I'll be lit. So, and hopefully Sunday we do a hangover, but that might be Monday, you never know. So, tonight, mini UFC Nashville Breakdown stream. Tomorrow, after party, recap video on Sunday, maybe a stream on Sunday as well. I'm putting a lot of work in for y'all. Hope y'all enjoy it, and I love y'all. I wouldn't do this if I didn't love doing this. I didn't want to entertain you amazing people that make me feel like I'm not wasting my time doing this, because I know I'm not. I'm having a great time. I'm doing this for y'all, and I love all of y'all. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to stop rambling because we're going on an hour and 40 minutes. So, I want to end this and get this video up ASAP, because I know it's getting later on Friday, so let's fucking let's get this up. See y'all tonight for the mini UFC Nashville Breakdown, hopefully. If not, if you only watch the videos, see you on Sunday for the recap. As always, I'm going to stop rambling because you're probably tired of hearing me for an hour and 40 minutes. As always, hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 200 subs always the goal by the end of 2025. And as always, unless I'm forgetting to say something which I don't believe is possible because I've talked so fucking much. As always, RX Finally back and finally out. Good vibes. Only and always.